I would like to share some bites with you. 5 bites. Good ones. Let's go.
No, 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 Maygat World.
Number 1. Companions. What a great library of choice, eh?
A disparate collection of vagabonds and strays.
You can easily find the love of your game. And you can easily get rid of the ones that annoy you with every dialogue. But all of their backgrounds and personality make sense. They all are just well written and memorable. Exploring the dialogue option is actually not a boring skip button torture. The only problem, it might be hard to decide who should belong to the core team. Luckily, you can just base your choice on personality.
If anyone asks, I'll say you were transforming.
Thanks to the respect plus customization of every character.
As thou desire.
So they can play tactical role on the way that you will enjoy the most, my friend. In my first playthrough, I've stuck to the cats. Because they were all well suited to my roleplay session. And all of them really liked bad boys. What you da? What you da? Bad boys! Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they fireball you? I also kept Astarion in the team because I was just curious how this douche will develop during the playthrough. Just to find out that
Everything has changed. I can hear it at last. How all the lowly creatures of this plane are begging to serve. The world will stir in fear.
that he deserves good old Spartan off the cliff!
This doesn't feel right.
Yes, I am a bit allergic to the bloodsuckers, to be honest. What you da? What you da? The rest just left. They didn't agree with my methods. I only wish they could have some kind of comeback. As enemies, for example, trying to ambush us during the camp time. But that never happened. When they left once, they just puffed from the game history. The only explanation? They turned into the frutti di mare after stepping out of the predestined path. Speaking about the frutti di mare, I would like to ask you for like us and subscribe us, since this is my little baby, the channel, and the little baby channel needs a milk to grow happy and healthy. So I need your active support, please. Milky, 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 thank you. Number 2, the style.
Blood will clot the gutters of this place. Your flesh will rot on the slab. A worthy offering at last.
Oh boy, she got a style. The game maybe does not have the most complex character creation, but sometimes that is better. You still can do a lot, and it's pretty hard to cook your character into overboiled potato. Chewed and spitted by a cat, and then chewed and spitted by the dog, and then left untouched for the week.
Brushes are oiled, the canvas prepped, and you...
Yeah!
Well, you're comfortable.
Thanks to that, we don't have to watch so many streamers trying to be funny by just playing the slider abominations.
I'm pretty confident in this, and I really don't want to wait another 2 hours. Well, I'm pretty happy with how this is looking.
The model just looks umami! On a scale that I have not seen in any other games. I was especially touched by the moment when my draw sorcerer was sweating as crazy in the lava forge. Just look at the tensions of the light expression and the sweat drops. Plus, if the size of your nose on a cutscene makes you wanna restart the game, you don't have to. Just go back to the camp and take a look into the mirror. That definitely saved me some nerves, since I can be quite OCD when it comes to the creation details.
Don't be so hard on yourself. It's not your fault the world is wicked. You did the right thing.
Number 3. Game is not a racist.
How dare you? Accusing an upstanding citizen like me of being a dwarf? I'm a halfling, you oaf!
Even if you can find the races inside of the game.
Worthless slaves! Your incompetence has been my ruin!
As a person who favors role-playing with underdog races, I was always feeling punished for that in all the D&D games. There was this stupid system to balance some races by level adjustments. In practice, that meant that if you wanted to play as a Smurfeblin, you had level adjustment +3. In practice, when normie human needed 3000 XP to advance on level 3, a decent hard-working Smurf required 15,000 XP. That was so stupid! It was a better option to just pick Rock Gnome, taint him on Smurf Blue, and left the world to know that you identify as the Smurfeblin. Okay, you have lost some extra dialogue options, but at least you could have some fun in the game. I'm glad that we have grew out of these D&D problems. Additionally, Larian removed race attribute differences and let us customize it, so now if I wanted to create Zangief's little brother, I had no penalty on strength and I could smash the boss without the limits. The only race that deserves to be punished are goblins.
There! Well done.
But Larian also seems to understand that very well by giving us so many tools for vermin extermination. I threw the goblin and I like that. Number 4. The Book of Cheese. Many spells in Baldur's Gate are trash, especially those with the concentration mechanics. And the misclicks are the biggest enemies of every concentration spell. Oops. Sorry. Misclick. I think it's fun to play with minds. So I have tried a lot of enchanting while playing Wild Magic Sorcerer. My spell focus was either on fireballs or charming balls, and for most situations I was using it 80% to 20% in the fireball favor. For one simple reason: when I fireball, it's guaranteed that my spell will reach the enemy in range and blow him to pieces, or if saving throws will be against me, cause them at least some slight damage. When my enchanting spell goes badly with saving throw, then it becomes a flat trunk. Wick, and I will end up with nothing at the end of the turn. And who likes to eat the dirt for a dinner?
I made soup. Want some?
To survive, I often had to limit myself to brute damage. The biggest disappointment? Well, when I saw game teasers during early access, I was hyped about Arcane Trickstar, because I like magical rogue concept in general. Mage Hand seemed like that amazing reach expanding ability that would allow you to additionally manipulate with surroundings or confuse your foes and even do some petty thieving. Critical hit! I'm so happy that I just ignored the temptation of the arcane trickster, because that spell is one hell of useless. Number 5. Where are my shorts? In the game, you have playable gnomes, halflings and dwarves, and yet there is not even one short companion.
Oh, stop this thing!
I'm missing some crazy charismatic farts like the beast from Divinity 2.
Lucky for me, I was able to commandeer a ship and began a new life for myself out on the high seas.
He was one of my besties. But here there is no companion with such a rowdy personality that can look at the world from the frog perspective. And I have a feeling that the main reason why it is like that are cutscenes and the dialogue interaction. The camera sometimes struggles to adjust the angle to our short guys, and yes, they have fixed and adjusted that a bit with the patch updates, but there are so many dialogues in the game and it seems like they didn't want to deal too much with that adjustment in pre-release phase. So to prevent collateral global complaint damage, they limited scripted companions to the ones with the long limbs. So it is just my short sad moment. Because I feel that those races bring more brightness and humor to the experience. They break in so well the cringe pathos of power fantasy, and I prefer the world where even the smallest and most unexpected can turn the tides of history.
Short father, bless you.
And to be honest, beating giants with these little people give me always this additional bowl of rush with satisfaction. Larian maps have their own limitations by the choice. They are well designed, staffed, locked playgrounds. Yet, I still was surprised about the scope of this piece of land below the land.
Ah, a fellow inhabitor of the Underdark.
My home, sweet home. Unfortunately, we cannot expect Menzoberran's and DLC, because there will be no DLC for the Baldur's Gate 3, says Sven Winke, the big boss of Larians. They saying that they will be just making DLC size patches, basically, like on the next one that is coming this year, all the classes, 12 classes, will get the new subclass. That's a madness, and other games would be easily just pushing that as a DLC. And to think that Larian is already cooking new game without any limitations, since they are doing it under their own IP, without filters or control from corporations called wizards.
You see, well, that is to say...
Curiosity just tingles my turn-based spot.
This is clever. Might even work. Come here.
Oh! Baldur's Gate 3 is a next-gen quality game, a pure umami, and will be forever remembered. I'm happy to be alive to experience that. And if I missed any ultra important topics on my list, just point it out in the comments. And don't forget to like us and subscribe us! This is not the last Baldur's Gate 3 video, because there is just too much juice in the box. And I'm looking forward for my next class. I'm also looking forward to see you in the next video. Ciao ciao!
No, please!